of the advancement in technology by Keshe Foundation has is looking into internationals and how it will raise this for us. But on the other hand, we have to see what will be the reduction and how which organization will release the protocol pages. But in the next 20 weeks or so, you hear things that comes to international investigation, which was a change in business communism, communism, organization. We tried our best to keep it up, we keep it silent sometimes. We can't come through and see. Going back to the teachings, it says we carry on with the same pattern about this. Just before we start, we have a question. Caroline, can you explain more about the portals? Will you go to the same? You have to explain. We will make tomorrow the location for several different questions. We on the premises of the head where I the structure and what do this portal brings, or what do we call a portal? If we look, a portal is an eye into the future, an eye into another dimension. That's what we call it. But if you think the soul of the man has its own portal, and something which we never understood, in many cases I try to explain, and now maybe for the first time, those of you who speak about reading and speak about what we call opening of the soul of the man, is that how the physicality has created what I call portal for its own transportation, for its communication, for its bandwidth strength of the subject and higher order of order. What does this mean? If you look at the structure of the physicality of the man and the position of the soul of the man, you will see the portal. It's been there. It's a portal that we as human beings, we never considered it. But now that we understand and we graduate into this thing, we have to. We have no choice. Can I have the first picture, please? If we look at the skull of the man, we see within the structure of the skull of the man, the soul of the man has made a portal for itself. Very cleverly. An eye into the dimension of the physicality, an eye in the dimension of what I call the soul, the eye of the soul. If you look at the position of the portal and draw a line very right across it, see what you see. If you take the totality of the wavelength, or what I call the bandwidth of the eye of the man, where do you see? You cross the position of the soul of the man. Very interesting. But what is important is the eye or the soul of the man has chosen a dimension of the soft tissue where the rest of its structure is considered well absorbed, refined, but important and itself. If you can increase and understand the strength, the whole universe becomes visible. In the universal community, many races are like this. It's all closed. But they have used the strength of the soul to go beyond the dimension of the physicality of the structure, value, their emotion, what we call brain. So when we speak about the soul of the man, the eye of the man, skin, but at the same time, this skin follows the whole structure of the physicality. How far can we go and how far can we extend this knowledge? Do we need to have a vision direction to be able to see? Or can we direct our vision for us to be able to transfer the strength of the soul of the man through? When you understand and when humanity comes to mature enough, you'll find out that the physical eye of the man in his body as a physicality is one of the most powerful tools that a man could have been given to be able for the transportation, communication of the soul with the universe. Vision, as we call it, the eye of the man, visual access. If you look at the position of the soul, and if you look at the other dimension of the brain of the man, the soul sits right through, looks down, eye of the man. Up slightly, you will see. When you're looking at the side view of this, when you look at the frontal view, you will see the eye of the man looks directly into the soul of the man. You remember when the first times we started speaking about the position of the soul, I explained to you, you can find a stereo phone, how you can create it. So you have your stereo phone, you have your vision, you can pinpoint the position of the soul. You have to understand a very simple thing. If I draw this in a different dimension, in a very practical way, the two hemispheres. You have the two hemispheres. You have the two eyes which crosses, and you have the two ears. In a way, if you draw the line right across, in a very specific, you should be able to see the dimension of the soul and the position of the soul. In so many ways, you always have access to it. And you always gain access out of it. And in the future, when man grows in the knowledge, you will understand something very simple. And that is why when we have a dream, we have a vision. When we have a dream about our mother or our loved ones or our children, why we connect with the noise and the place, is because the soul of the man sees through the eye of the man. And in that process of achieving souls, what he gets, so we have a vision of it. In so many ways, man up to now have never understood this. This calm absorbs as a limitation, submission of the eye, and then liquid within the eye of the man is the transformation of the level of the soul to level of physicality. And in conditions when you don't even have the eyeball, the structure which is built by ancestors in the position of the conversion sits within the eye. The physicality of the eyeball, I can explain it in a simple way. Our soul's portal is the eye. And that's why everything we see as a dream or a connection between our soul and understanding in connection with our other souls goes through the eye at a given second. But we have to understand the whole structure of the skull of the man receives other strength. At the level of the vision of the man that we see our loved ones or we see their environment, we see through the portal, through the strength of the soul, through the vision of the eye of the man, which in return from the soul of the environment, the soul of the loved ones, we see converts back into and becomes what we call the vision or memory or what we have a dream of. Then we understand something very, very simple, that even in the daytime, when the man is awake and looks through his eyes, the soul is still in communication with the others, and what is still coming back and it gets registered within the structure of its character. So the soul of the man never sleeps, and the eye of the man never stops converting. But it comes some other point. When you travel in the depths of the universe, and this vision of, or this condition of what we call visuality, or this condition of the rest and sleep disappears, because our resting time and the sleep time is totally dependent on the rotation of the sun and the earth. In the space, there is no sun, and yet in the dimensions of no time, no space, because that space is yours. There is no other space you can be in. A lot of people don't understand when we speak about no time and space, the whole universe, because the time and the place and the space is you. Nothing exists before or after. So when you're in the depth of the space and you don't have these parameters which has literally controlled the operation of the physicality of man, is there time for rest? Or do we live through the mind and soul? Or do we go as part of the understanding of what we call renovation, regeneration, or replacement? Do we take and wait 16 hours to recharge, what we call during the rest time? Or do we recharge as we use, or we take from the environment of the universe as we need, and we do not need to recharge, we do not need that rest time? As I was explaining in talk yesterday. In countries and in life of our ancestors, except now that they pulled the religion and they shut us closed down, you have to be a Sunday because it's a holiday, and it's going to be a Saturday because you're a Jewish and holiday, and the Muslims goes to the Fridays, everyone chooses the whole week. If we have 4 more religions brought here, the whole week will be holiday time. The Jews don't work on Saturday, but they live in a Christian countries, Saturday and Sunday. The Muslims go for a Friday and a Saturday clothing, or a Thursday and a Friday. You go to Dubai, it's a Friday and Saturdays, holidays. Even the Muslims have become Jews. And then you go to European Jews, and now let's make another 4 days, the whole week is a holiday. Then we become true man of space. There is no space, there is no gap. And it goes back to the olden time, where all these religious forces came in because they brought the soul of man. Man worked 365 days a week. They found a day to celebrate for something, and they celebrated for something. So we go back to the origin of us on this planet. There was no weeks, there was no days, there was no time. But the difference with the world of the space, when you go into it, there is no lack of energy. Because as we use, we replenish. Actually, we don't use. We tap into the universal energy. As we use it, it gets replaced. Do I need to hold food that one day I'm going to go hungry in space? But the food is there. It's not part of mine. I'll go. It will be there as I eat. Then it comes one fundamental question. What is man going to do with the life of no tiredness, no hunger, and no direction? How do we spend our time in the depth of space? When you watch some of these futuristic movies, they put people in capsules to be sick for 100 years, 200 to get to the destination. 100 years of life of man is nothing in the dimension of space. And if you read the rules now that we understand how the soul of man works, you don't need to know what it is. But you bring balance between the soul of the man and the soul of the physicality of the man, that they work as in what I call a synchronized way. I'm a nuclear physicist. I'm a scientist by training, by nature. And to me, when I look at the soul of the man and the soul of the physicality of the man, they explain to me a proton and electron. Electron moves and takes energy as it needs to find a position in relevance to its proton. So, in the depth of the space, the life of the man will be the same. The physicality will absorb what it needs from the soul to keep it in a position and a distance from its creator. Then, do we need to look for food in this part of the universe? Or actually what we become another work of nature, electron and the proton. This called one atom, where this is one atom. The existence of man. And then if we understand this, do we need to feel man? This brings us to a lot of things. I was explaining to knowledge seekers very recently. I didn't come here to build up factories. I came here to detach man from physicality, which is in the factories. But it's the way I can get the man to see the beauty of the technology that they stop building things and becoming. Research centers to develop new ways to understand more, but in so many ways, now that we understand, and truly we can understand how the soul of the man works, and how it manifests itself, and how it keeps its position in respect to its dimension, then is there any reality to the physicality of the man? Or is it just a mirage of fields in trying to keep in position with each other, create a vision, mirage of the physicality? Then is there a space and time? And then is there a time to have the space to confirm the existence? Then it comes to understand, do we need the vision? Or is the vision a portal or communication for the soul of the man without a restriction to the nation of physicality to the strength of the other souls? Would we see the soul of entities of the universe through our soul, through the eye of the man, but not through the physical operation of the soul of the cells of the physicality? That it converts to the vision, soul of the man. Here it comes one point. Is there a part in the brain of the man which can convert such information for us to understand? And it comes to another dimension of the understanding which has to not be open up to. We've already been aware of the existence of the life beyond the life, the universe, but the information has been filtered at a given level that is not and is above or below the side vision of the man, the dimension of the physicality of the matter of this man. The problem is, as I said, goes back to medical teaching. In the medical teaching, when you go back and listen to it, we have the very consultant, the representative of the teachings, that in every shape or form should confirm the existence through the medical accidents and the machinery and systems which confirm the correctness of it. And then we put that parallel in the dimension of the soul and understanding work of the plasma. Then this brings one thing very important to all of us. That we have created systems and technologies to confirm that what we see is what it is. Because we have transferred the knowledge into the physical dimension of understanding ourselves. We send aircraft onto Mars, onto Moon, and we take still pictures of that frame at the vision of man, not at the shape vision of the universe. And then, because we do it, we confirm to ourselves that this is it. Because as we did with medical systems, we built systems to fit into the fallacy of the oxygen process, the lung, and then it gets optimized and we all accepted it. And now with the new technology and understanding of transfer, we understand there is no such thing. It's just energy transfer. If you could put the banana and transfer the energy to your mouth and the banana appears in your limb and it becomes part of your body, you can do the same thing, push the banana to your eye, you go through and it gets transferred and it starts to go. You don't need the mouth, you can just push it through the skin and it comes part of the limb. So we understand that there is a force of conversion, but man has made systems to confirm according to the time of his understanding, systems to confer is correct, and we have accepted it. And this is now for us to understand. It's time to one and understand the work of the physicality of the universe is not at the level of your vision of the mind, and is at the vision of the full strength spectrum of the soul. We just convert it, we just take it and part which we need. In a way, if you go to the last pages of our books, I say that God is the creator and man is the we convert very little of it, but the love of the creator spans the whole spectrum. What to you is an ant, to another creatures of the universe is a moving soul. Does not see the physicality. And this is what we have to understand. And in the process of the life, especially when you come to portals, and portals to transfer the soul of the man, or the dimension, physicality of the man, these things will count very heavy. It counts very heavy because you have to decide what is the space gap that I can exist and not necessarily the dimensional clarity of this planet, this solar system, this galaxy, and this universe. If I take the same soul, which gives me the physicality of a man, which arms, two legs, and put it into another universe straight dimension, it could be nothing, it becomes one cell that covers the whole space of that. As one cell. Because it's the energy of the system counts, and not the length of the finger close. How small can it be? Then we come to one fundamental understanding. When you make these programs, when you make these systems of transportation, solar, navigation, universe, do we need to control them and strengthen the soul of the man on this planet? Or do we give soul of the man the freedom to choose its place, its point, its conformation, its existence? Then what happens to the beautiful fallacy which man has accepted and made them in the image of myself? The image of me on earth is two hands and two legs, and the image of me in planet Zeus, 20 arms and 40 legs. Which ones? Or is my image dependent on the environment of manifestation? And then, do I still communicate and be in control of the space dimension of the soul of man at position? And I still can move through that portal and I still be in touch with the mother, with the sister, which I mean. In an upcoming conference with the space agencies around the world in a few months' time, these are the things that will be considered. The New Space Agency shall come by the collaboration of the work of not only the space agencies, but the Keshe foundations of these nations, including as part of it, because then you become responsible to teach the scientists at NASA, the National Space Agency, and the rest, the understanding of the plasma and the level of what we teach, then you'll find out they have a lot of problems. Till we can show, we can manifest. So when we have set up the cyber, which is what is the new name for the new space agency set up, which literally stands for red. It's China, Iran, Brazil, Russia, India, and United States space agencies. We are not looking only to bring scientists from NASA. It is first comes the scientists from Keshe who have developed the space technology in America. So we merge the space agencies of the nations, the Keshe Foundation works of the space technology, because it's the responsibility of you to teach these guys. There's nothing to that what you do. Sunreal.org has been registered and will start its operation. But with the collective space agencies of the spaceship program. And part of this is for you to open that space scientists and presidents to understand the solar. In so many ways, with the permission and establishment of cyber, we bring cyber work of the science of the solar in work. With many of you things, yes, like it is a man with that state. And twice, think of it as universe. The creation of understanding the new technology and transferring the knowledge that we have taught and you become wise to it. Many of you are start building the space systems. You understand, you understood it. You're building the spaceships to the fine lines which I teach, and many of you don't understand that something come and do. You become the teachers of these agents. You become the teachers of the new space science. And in this process, it's easier to teach the scientists of the new space era that we have moved from the physicality of the craft, and we have moved from the physicality of the planet Earth, we have moved from the physicality of the body of the man to the dimension of the creation, which is the dimension of the soul of the man, without that. It will be very hard for the present aerospace scientists to accept, because then they'll find out they have no passengers to carry. That was their aim. We have pilots, people we know, who is life, literally, the pension policy is to complete the NASA space mission to Mars for human life landing on Mars in 2030. The head of the mission has been told he cannot speak to the mission. It's forbidden. He can lose his job. Because how long can these space agencies cover up? Or what we see in the next level, by building the space cities, we show the cities are nothing but the space with the soul of their creation. And nothing is spread but across the universe. In the setting up of the new space cities, one of the main considerations is, can we have to, as part of our obligation, to create a space where is the point of interaction of the man, soul of the man, with creatures and the soul of the creatures of the universe. Because now we understand we have to have a guest room and an acceptance room. Somewhere we can provide leisure, and somewhere we can provide what we call the environment of the future of this planet. See, show. So many ways, and the information, such a thing manifested some years ago. It's a spacecraft, which is still going and saying, there are people from Earth, this is this, this is this. But now we have to change the new understanding. We bring the soul of the, what we call the planet of the universe, to be guests at home, even though they have been guests here for a long time. In so many ways, it's very strange. I was explaining this some times ago, and it's not far from reality. You know, sometimes you get another bus, you sit on a bench somewhere, or you come across the man, you start talking, and then you realize you know each other from childhood. You went to the same school, or you lived in the same neighborhood, and you talk about this and that cafe, and sometimes in that running around in that environment, you have met, but you have no memories of. In these space cities, now you're given the memories to remember. The man you met on the street, in such a place as a child of space, as you become. Now we can connect. We had lunch together, but he looked us to be eating to come to the conformity of you, to be for you to be happy. But it's there for him to see the soul. So now we understand, by opening up these new space agencies, these new the space eras with these new space cities, we are not in a way inviting you to come and see the new magic. It's not a new Disney World. but it's the world where it makes it easy to understand. It's always been there. It's always been with us. It's us who have not understood. In a way, if you understand it, is as you have two legs and two arms and the condition, atmospheric condition of this planet, and you carry that amino acid of this planet, and then when you go into planet Zeus and you get the initial physicality of the appearance of what it could be there, in creating these portals, we allow the passengers who made themselves to be in the dimension of Earth to show themselves in the original dimension of their point of creation on their planet. And then we see the true soul and the creation of the time and space of the creation. If many of you think I will see aliens and I can say what it is, it's a very good guess. But when we create a condition, then we see either we knew the man we saw on the space in the dimension, now this is his true purpose. His true physicality of the dimension of the creation. The change in the coming time is so rapid that mankind has two choices. Carry on with the stigma and sticking to what is in the past, or accept the new and the present future of the science. Many will have the reverence of Earth. Used to. In so many ways, it has come, it has to be. It's been there. It's us who did that. As I explained to a child, he said, when did we discover electricity? I said, the electricity has been with us from the beginning of time. The time is unhappy. It's us how, and now we understand how it's produced and naked, and we call it a Tesla. It's the same lightning. Now, it has always been with us. Now we are educated to see it. We are developing a knowledge of the universal structure, not in the matter state of man, to be able to understand the reality and the truth about creation, and not about ourselves. The minute we start looking back to see about us, we have come to the same point as man has been up to now, but further down the line, we be. These teachings in the past few weeks will be heard by many, many men of this planet for generations to come. These are the cornerstones of the new era. We just happen to be put it when it happens. In the coming time, all this become as what we call bread and butter, everyday travel, interaction, existence of it. If you're not happy in the dimension of physicality, you do not need to prison yourself into it. Then you come forward with it. This is important for many, many, many things when the man comes into space. We learn a new freedom, but we have to learn with this new freedom of physicality comes a new principle, a new dimension of totality, but integrity of mind, not what is others. And it goes back to the first mind, knowledge of others. In so many ways, understanding. I've seen people mixing gases and things and the others, and I sit down and I look and I say, my God, they're still busy with it. They have not seen. If you want to replicate the work of the universe and understand it, do what happens in the universe, not what you want it to be, because you understand. We have started the development of the final phase of this mission program. And hopefully, in due course, you will see unconditional flight in the structure of the solar. But in the new space system, we have followed word by word. It's very much up to now, blocks by blocks, for you to learn that you can put the next block before you can have the whole structure. The new space system, which is now the design and development, is the completion of it. It's the replication step by step. We will not release when, how, and who, and where is going to be shown. But when it manifests itself, every soul on this planet will feel. In the past days, we have moved to the final stages of the application plan. Systems in design, systems developed. At the same time, when the systems come to the full operation, replicate the operation. So now, the physicality of man, even though we need the physicality to understand, the final phase, what I call the final stage, the final system, is very, very simple, but extremely complicated, because it has to take into account everything that leads to creation of it. Remember, you have an egg and a sperm. But when they share the fields, in sharing, they have rubbing off, which in this rubbing off creates a position of collecting the spares, which becomes a new cell. And again, the connection and interaction with them becomes the creation of more cells, because it comes out of the friction of interaction plus what the environment gives, and at the end it ends up with the soul of the man and physicality. But up to now, no one has followed this. In the Iranian Space Agency work 10, 11 years ago, up to the same, but Iranian scientists have not understood this fully. They still work on the matters. But if you understand this, and you comprehend some of this mechanism, then you will understand something very, very simple. Man has entered the final phase of understanding not the work of the universe and how to travel the universe, but to understand the work and travel of his own soul. And nothing. What you call very much, as we said, unified field theory. And if you read my work, if this is planet Earth, the unified field theory tells you one thing: magnetical and gravitational are all the same. Depends on which point, which direction you're looking at. If you stand and look with the two eyes, you see it's coming and going, and you say it's one field. If you look that way, it looks red or white, and then the other way is red or white, and then you say there are two different things. But if you really in reality, look at the true structure of a car. You put red lights in the back and white lights in the front. It's the same car. It's unified. It's the same thing. It depends, has it passed you or is coming to you? So, as it's the same car, it's unified. It's a unified field theory, which has become one of the what called enigmas in the world of physics, shows the lack of understanding of man. And then, if you understand this, you understand change the car, the soul. And then you have to decide, are you getting or are you giving? Or is it coming to you to receive as you need it, or you're giving away what you do not need? Those who made the world of unified field theory show absolute lack of understanding of the totality of the creation, even though they live by it every day. Is it on the red shift or is it on the white shift? In fact, it's only one shift, and it's the same light, the same day. It's just dependent upon your observer. And then, if you understand this as a man in space, this makes a lot of problem for you lot. And that is this soul next to me coming to me to take from me? Or is this soul on this side is going to give? And how purple is this, and how blue and white is the other one? And then you decide your reaction, and in fact, your position in respect to both, you take your position. If you look at this, same principle, exactly the same picture. Nothing has changed. We just changed the name of the earth and the sun, the change of the man and his physicality, the position of the soul of the man and another soul. In essence, it's the same entity, the same work of interaction with the fields of universe. So we come back to the beginning. What is the purpose of the soul of the man? And now that we understand this, has the soul of the man now has become and understood by us that it lives, it has communicated, it will forever communicate as long as the dimension of the physicality of the man exists through the portal of the eye of the man. Or in a way, if you look at it, does the body needs the eye? Or has he made itself two holes to be able to escape through and be able to do his work, to communicate with outside? At the strength of the vision, now for the first time we understand what it means and how the dream comes to be visualized by us. Because we actually see, our eye has always seen the soul of the mother and has transformed it in a physical dimension to the structure, even through the life of the mother in front of you and the presence in front. Then you come to understand how far man has fooled himself in confirmation of the physicality. Or in so many ways, we have changed the strength. At a certain strength, we see the physicality of the mother, but in fact, we always observe the soul of the mother. And when the mother changes the position and leaves the physicality, we still see the same soul, and we transfer it to the vision. And this is the truth about the creation, which man has never understood. In a way, the eye socket of the man with nothing there to block the strength and matter state of conformity is like a house with bricks, and wherever you go you don't see anything outside except where you left two windows. By the brick walls we block ourselves to see the outside and the outside to see us. But we chose the window to be the portal of us to be able to see. So has been the man himself. Nothing changes in what's happening outside with the reality of dimension of existence. It's just that when we decide to go through the window, but all the information from outside has always come in through the window, and all the information from inside has come through. So in a way, we made the house in the same condition and position of the scholar. We gave it a portal. We call it a window. And we made it transparent. It's us who has chosen to put the shutter that we don't see when it's dark or when it's cold. And in the eye of the man, we created the eyelashes. At this time, I just want to work through the soul. I call it the sleep time. That I don't need the dimension of the information, dimension of physicality, that I don't want to see the color, the bedroom, the roof, the ceiling, all this stuff. So I only work the dimension of the soul of the man. So the work of the soul of the man never stops. Just because you close the shutters of the window of the house does not mean the sun is not shining. And does not mean that the light bulb in the house is not working. You have decided to close, but in reality, the field strength above that shutter moves in, the heat of the sun comes in. So is the soul of the man. But in the condition of the eye of the man, when the information comes through the cycle of the vision in the socket, that is another intermediary, converts the information of the soul of the man to the dimension of the physicality of the mother, as you know. So when it comes to the dimension of the space, how do we recognize the passages of the universe if we carry the dimension of the physicality of the man on the position and the strength of the field of physicality? The astronauts of the future will have a huge problem to separate themselves from this. Those of you who travel through the structure of the soul of the man will enjoy the beauty of the creation across the universe. And then the question goes, do we still need a spaceship? Or do we travel on the ship of the space of our soul and conquer the universe? Now, I have opened to you one of the biggest mysteries of mankind. Because you're so physical, you have to see it to believe it. Now, you understand how seeing has been a tool for you to not to see the reality, because it has kept man in the dimension of physicality and the strength of more or less the calcium of the life of this planet. Slightly different, the strength of calcium, I create the transparency of the vision of the man. And when I pile it up, I call it a skull, and when I thicken a little bit, I call it the skin, but this is the strength I want to travel, and I've made portals for it to travel in the spans of the universe. Now, we have opened another mystery about the creation. It's for those of you who understand to decide where you want to go. And many of you take you sometimes to understand, and many of you have already understood because I have reached and touched the soul to carry the information. In a way, if you look at it, we have to do something while the soul is alive. Doesn't matter on this planet or in the universe. What is better to teach the other souls than what I do? To serve elevated source. Then the question comes, what do you do when you become passenger of the space and in the dimension of the soul of the creation, and you become part of, and you become into a new dimension? Do you become a teacher, or you become a thief? This very much depends on the strength of the physicality you choose, or you live on the extension of the dimension of the soul. Physicality needs feeding, and if you cannot find continuous feeding, you become a thief. The soul becomes a teacher. It does not feed, but it teaches as it teaches the species. Then you have to decide who is the white light and who's taken the red light. Or is it what I've given that has become a red to me, not what is taken from me, moving from. This is a very big, important point for those of you who start understanding the work of the soul, the understanding of the work of the portals, and understanding that the portal of the universe does not be a city, but it's the eye of the man, through the vision of the man, and the certain dimensions of physicality and of the space and time of the existence. Now, you can see where the new knowledge goes. Every week, we extend bit by bit that somebody might understand. Someone still with a spaceship, someone has already made a ship from the space of themselves. Then, next time when you dream, when you say, I had a dream, just think, I didn't have a dream. It's what I shared with the soul, and the soul allowed me to be shared with. And as the sun shines and spreads light in its fields, at the same time shines on Earth as it shines on Jupiter and on Saturn. It's the space and time that it confirms manifestation. So as you are dreaming of or communicating to the dimension of the soul, then you are yourself another dimension as a star in the galaxy receiving the lights and the fields of the universe. And you take as much as you need and you give as much as you don't need. But you exist at the same time on Earth, on Mars, and Jupiter, and you can be observed in another part of the universe as that shiny dot you call the sun. We call it a solar system. So now it becomes very easy to understand. Are we dreaming? What is our physical life, part of the physicality dream? And then it comes to a point that do we live two lives? One life in the dimension of the physicality, the strength, and one in the dimension of the soul of the universe. When you close your eyes and you call it asleep and you have that dream, which means you use the dimensional portal of the eyes to be maybe in 10 different dimensions, but you can only want to choose which one. But the same thing happens when you're walking. You live the two lives. The life of the physicality, the soul of the strength of the matter state of this planet, and then the dimension of the soul of the universe, because the sun at this point is Earth and the sea, and the sun at the other point looks and exists Jupiter and Saturn, and is the mother or the father or somewhere else. So Man has to realize the portal of the soul of the man operates in two dimensions, and it's him who has to choose. And at the time when you blank out one frequency, which you call the frequency of physicality, the other one, which has been working around the time, has been going and is still in touch. We decide today, I want to listen to channel 4, and tomorrow to channel 3, and the channel 4 was the dream. I wanted to see what the mother is saying, and the channel 4 is the other, and channel 2 is my father, and I convert that channel to vision through. They're coming back, transferring the knowledge through my eyes to physicality of the existence of what I see. Then you understand man has always been in touch with the totality of the universe. It's us who has chosen. We just filter the physicality, we still let process the rest of them back. And in so many ways it explains why the brain of the man is so big and is such a big recording of everything. Because it's not just recording what you see with the eye of physicality, it's recording to what is happening with the eye of the soul of the man, with the rest of the souls. And he has to remember it because, same as you remember, you've been to Africa 20 years ago and you saw the lion, he has to remember, has been into the other universe and has seen such a thing because the other souls which is in touch with have been there and they want to discuss something. So man has lived a life of schizophrenic, but he has never known. And as I say, the word schizophrenic does not exist. It's a beautiful people. Then you understand it's a beautiful soul. Soul of physicality and the soul of the universe which exists within the soul. Maybe now we can start going to the next step and understanding with creating these portals. Are we creating the portals for the soul of the creatures of the universe, which becomes visible to the soul of us, not to the physicality of us? Or we still want to be in the fantasy world, building a spaceship to see the dimensions of the universe? It is very strange how we choose this. And it's very strange how man has not seen this dimension of life. Now it is here. Is in a way, as messengers of the universe, we are there to enlighten you. The furniture, the chair, and the television has always in the room. We just put the switch the light on, that you can see it is there. Now we open a new understanding. And then in so many ways, when you say, I had a premonition, I knew this was going to happen, I've seen this before, and now it's happened. Ask yourself the question. Did the soul, through the dimension of the portal of the eye of the man, has already seen it? You just come to see it in the dimension of physicality. Or has created it for you to see the consequences. Now, it's very much the truth. Does the oxygen crosses the lung of the man and oxygenizes the blood? Or the truth, the reality that now we know is only the energy which is converted in the lung of the man, which is the strength of the hemoglobin red cells of the lung or the blood of the man, that shows itself as recharge. Which one is true? We've been shown so many systems that confirms that the oxygen crosses, or we understand there is nothing more than the switch of the light. The more you put, the lighter it gets, but actually no pockets or core from the power station has come into the power line. This is the beauty about when you understand the totality of the creation. And as message above is our responsibility to enlighten is for man to take the step and to confirm, to understand, and take action by it due to the pleasure of it, not through the punishment of it. The time of punishment is finished. Those who still choose the path of punishment, those are the teeth of the sword. Now, it's for man to understand why and how and the reason for what we call the sight. The sight of the man is the communication line and transformation line which covers both bandwidth, the dimension of the soul in conjunction with the operation of the universe, or the condition of the interaction and the dimension of physicality. And it transfers and translates both lights at the same time, and it sends it to the same pigeonhole which is relevant. And now man has to understand this. Then the portals we make will see through the eye of the soul, not through the eye of physicality. And this is what we delay the construction of these portals, that many men to come to understand. Otherwise there'll be absolute mayhem. Why these things have so many different shapes and which one is the new product. I can read your mind because I work on the soul level, and your soul already tells me what the physical side of the brain is working on. So I might become a new prophet or a new magician. Not good. How much more do we have to teach? And now you understand how close mankind is becoming to the point of detachment from physicality, because now he has a new night vision of the soul. And just because it's dark, you couldn't see up to now. Now you have given the understanding and the vision of understanding of the totality. The night vision is a totally a new day, which never ends. At night, you have the night vision. The daytime you see, but the picture is the same. But at the same time, you have to decide. Do I keep the night vision and physical dimension of day, or do I start to understand I have and I have the capability to translate both at the same time? Very much like multitasking. Man has been a man, only one task, physicality. Now what happened when we become a woman and we become multitasking? That we can translate the vision of physicality and we can communicate and translate the vision of the soul at the same time, because they come through the eye of the man. We created, the body has created this to fool the man, and that's why we became so physical. I see, I believe. What about if I manifest myself, the strength, the soul of mankind, that every man can see the totality of soul of, and then would you all become suicidal with that Krishna physicality? The teaching of today is a turning point of human race. It's what man trusts. Then, in the depth of space, man decides the position of time and waiting others to join. Do you want to put a swimming suit on and go in the depth of the ship, or you want to put a suit on and go in the dimension of physicality in the depth of space. The dimension of the soul within the physicality as much. It still sees through the both dimensions. Doesn't matter what suit you put on. We still will have that glass that we can see through. Doesn't matter if you're in space, or in the depth of the ocean, or in soul. Blessed are those souls who are listening
And thank you, Mr. Keshe. And again, I'll remind the attendees that you can put your hand up and we can allow you to speak. And we have the panelists here.
This video is a short introduction to the Keshe Foundation and its technology, which is intended to be shared with you and everyone around the world. The world's governments already know about this technology, and it is very important that you also know about it, since it will change your lives completely. The Foundation. The Foundation was founded by Keshe, born in Iran and graduated as a nuclear engineer at the University of London. For the last 40 years, his research has focused on the dynamics of electrically charged plasma as a source of energy in gravitational fields. The Foundation is registered as a non-profit organization in the Netherlands and has its permanent base in Ninove, Belgium. Being a space organization, the Foundation's goal was the development of space technology such as transport, power generation, health systems, and nutrition for people traveling in space. This is how Mr. Keshe discovered how to produce and control gravitational fields. This discovery has hundreds of potential applications that could help solve most of the world's fundamental problems, such as shortages of energy, water, and food, and environmental contamination. The basic principle. It all starts with a new understanding of the creation of gravity and the ability to replicate it. When magnetic fields of similar strength interact, they can entangle into a larger dynamic spherical pack. As these dynamic packs in turn interact with each other, this creates gravitational and magnetic fields. Each magnetic field contains plasmatic components of the three basic types of matter: matter, antimatter, and dark matter. The interaction of these three matters results in a larger integrated dynamic system called the initial fundamental plasma, or the neutron. The neutron can decay into a proton and electron, with small fragments of the magnetic field left over as light or energy. Note that this is not the model of physics taught at universities nowadays. However, such plasmatic magnetic conditions have been reproduced in simple plasma reactors during repeated experiments and tests, making it possible to turn a simple cola bottle into a plasma reactor. The discovery of these new principles enables us to generate and control energy and matter in different states as solid, liquid, and gas. Reputable scientists have assessed and accepted the feasibility of this method. For a more detailed explanation, visit our website and read our books. Health systems. As journeys in space will go further and last longer, space travelers will need a portable health system to help them recover from any type of illness. Human cells are made of a combination of plasmatic magnetic fields which form the structure of the atoms of hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen that are the building blocks of the amino acids in the human body. Our space health technology works directly with this plasmatic anatomic structure of the human body and shows it how to get back to its original state of health. The procedure works quickly with no tablets or injections and has no side effects. Numerous trials for this technology have been carried out with volunteers who had exhausted all other medical options. On our website, you can see testimonies and videos of these trials: ALS, cancer, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson, and gangrene. Visit our website to learn more about other severe diseases that we have processed. A form is available for appointments at our health facilities in Belgium. Other applications. The applications of the technology can be used to solve the world's most urgent problems. Energy. With this technology, it is possible to produce batteries and plasma power generators of up to 10 kilowatts that need no fuel and thus provide clean and cheap energy. Transportation. Plasma reactors with double magnetic fields generate magnetism and gravity and can lift vehicles and ships. Also, space travel under conditions similar to those on Earth will be possible. Environment. Using the parallel magnetic attraction principle, our systems can decontaminate chemical and nuclear leakage and can clean up CO2 emissions efficiently while creating clean water. Other applications. In 2005, patents were filed for over 300 applications of this technology, such as the creation of conductive materials for industrial processes. Learn more about these on our website. The goal of this video is to tell everyone the technology exists, it is here, and it belongs to you. As a non-profit organization, Stichting, the Keshe Foundation is not owned by or dependent on any commercial organization or company. To ensure the technology is shared and to avoid chaos in the system, we seek to cooperate with governments willing to receive this technology and make it available to their people. Sad to say, we still encounter a lot of resistance of few powerful governments and corporations that feel falsely threatened by this technology. The foundation is peaceful, non-religious, and aims only to bring about new scientific knowledge, technologies, and solutions to the major global problems. It is important for you to know that it is your right to benefit from this technology. To do so, you can do the following 3 things. First, share this video so more people know about it. The more people know about this, the harder it will be to keep resisting or blocking the coming changes. Second, inform yourself further through knowledge made freely available on our website, video lectures, and documents. Third, ask the ambassador of your country in Belgium to attend our events and receive this technology so it can be made available to your country. A letter for this purpose is available at our website. The technology is here and its methods have been proven. This might sound too good to be true for you, but it still remains a fact. The technology is yours, so make sure you get access to it and help make a brighter future for us all. Este video es una corta introducción a la Fundación Keshe y su tecnología, la cual queremos compartir contigo y con todos los seres de este planeta. Los gobiernos del mundo ya saben de esta tecnología y es muy importante que tú también la conozcas, ya que cambiará tu vida drásticamente. La Fundación. La Fundación Keshe fue fundada por MAGRAV Keshe, nacido en Irán y graduado como ingeniero nuclear en la Universidad de Londres. En los últimos 40 años, sus investigaciones se han concentrado en las dinámicas del plasma eléctricamente cargado como fuente de energía y campos gravitacionales. La Fundación está registrada como una organización sin fines de lucro en los Países Bajos y tiene su sede permanente en Ninove, Bélgica. Al ser una organización aeroespacial, su meta principal fue el desarrollo de tecnología para fines de transportación, generación de energía, sistemas de salud y nutrición para viajeros en el espacio sideral. Así es como el señor Keshe descubrió cómo producir y controlar campos gravitacionales. Este descubrimiento tiene cientos de aplicaciones potenciales que ayudarían a resolver los problemas fundamentales del planeta como la escasez de energía, agua y alimento y la contaminación ambiental.
to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that they can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the messenger, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will speak and pray in the mosque and the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who are the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. It is your wish to see peace. Path of peace is stated very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church of the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of the fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but the star in other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go to space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the liberation of the man to join the family. And now you have it. It's you who has to open the door to understand if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worth it to be part of the universal community, to be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, the new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life. Is the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.